Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and this is the video review for Transformers Generations Blitzwing. And as you can see, we have the triple changer in his jet mode, which in my personal opinion is his strongest mode. And it's a pretty nice one. It's pretty sleek, actually holds together pretty well. As you can see, it's thin. Even the bottom isn't as obvious that he's a robot as other Transformers are. The top, there are gaps, obvious gaps. You can pretty much see the backboard through him, which is unfortunate. This sword does help to make sure those gaps aren't as big as they could be, but it's not perfect. But it is done pretty well. All in all, I like it pretty much. Plenty of engineering feats in this one. You got the like the small transformation where the wings actually spread out and fill out the wing a little bit more, which is a small detail, but it's nice that it's there. And all in all, I like this mode. But he has two others, and I guess we'll get to them. So let's move on to tank mode. Okay, before we get to tank mode, let's get a quick comparison between Generations Blitzwing and his last incarnation, animated Blitzwing. As you can see, the jet mode on Generations is actually done a little bit better than animated. Simply because animated had those gigantic treads on the bottom of the jet. Which they seem to have fixed with the Generations version. The treads are not visible in jet mode unless you look underneath and peek really close at the corner of the thigh by the landing gear. So they did a good job of hiding the tank mode for the most part. They kept the idea of using the turret as an afterburner from the animated line. And that part isn't hidden quite as well. But, yeah. I actually do like the Generations jet mode better. But, yeah. Enough of that. Let's get to tank mode. Okay, now we got Blitzwing in his tank mode, which is alright. It rolls okay, but I think the cockpit actually drags on the ground. Yeah, just a little bit. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. Turret does turn. And it's got a solid appearance from a standard view, like from the side. Look at the front, yeah, it looks okay. But when you look at the back, that's when everything seems to be a little gappy. This one was not meant to be viewed from behind. And points for trying to get the tail fins to do some coverage, but didn't work out too well. But yeah, this is a triple changer, so sacrifices are going to be made in every mode just to accommodate the 3 modes. In this mode, you can store the robot's gun on the top as a secondary turret, which is nice. And the turret does have a missile firing action. Just push it in and it shoots a missile, which is always handy. It's like the jet mode, there are a lot of gaps in the body of the tank. It's unfortunate, but again, this is a triple changer. It's going to be making sacrifices to accommodate the 3 modes. For a quick comparison, here we got Generations Blitzwing and Animated Blitzwing, which was the last release of the character. And as you can see, the tank modes are very different from each other. Generations is more of a G1 style tank, while this one's a very short and double barreled type. So there are some severe differences between the 2 versions of the character. But being more of a G1 fan, I guess I like this one better. Although this guy's pretty cool. I gotta admit that. Okay. But anyway. I guess it's time we got this guy into robot mode. So, let's get to it. Okay, and now we got Blitzwing in robot mode, and this is actually where a lot of his problems become very noticeable, or at least easiest to illustrate. Now, the first and probably the most common problem that Blitzwing has is in his shoulders. While he does have, well, there you go. See how he, the shoulders undo very easily. He does have full rotation in the shoulders, but you kind of got to hold the turret bit and his chest to actually make use of it. Posing's possible with him, but it can be a little bit trying. That's probably one of the biggest problems anybody has with Blitzwing. There are others, due to his spring-loaded head and the fact that it doesn't lock in place. The nose cone has trouble actually locking down. This is doubled by the fact that the nose cone is actually made of a very soft plastic. So if you were to let's just do this real quick example. So if you were to just let's do this real quick. Take the nose. You can see there's a bit of a gap right in the nose cone area. Well, there's a way around this. I found that if you hold the head down and slide the nose in, it holds a bit better. That's what I do. That's what works for me, at least. Your mileage may vary, though. Let's get them back into proper alignment. I mean, those are the bigger issues for Blitzwing, though. And they can actually cause a little bit more of a problem. Also, since he's got a spring-loaded head, it's a bobblehead. So he has bobblehead issues. On top of everything else. But, yeah, I guess we should get down to that. But since we got the problems out of the way, let's get to articulation. And hopefully some of the good features. Okay. So, for articulation, he does have swivels at the head. Rotation at the shoulder, in and out at the shoulder. Like I said, you hold the back and chest together. That'll give it a little bit more posability without breaking apart. He has elbow joint, well, bicep swivel, elbow joint. Let me get the sword out of the gun out of the way. Wrist swivel. Nothing at the waist, but he does have forward back on the hips, in and out, thigh swivel, knee bend. His knees are pretty high though. But yeah, that's not a big deal. And he has ball jointed ankles. So you can actually get a lot of posability out of him. And so all in all, the look of the character isn't bad. I mean, the look of the figure. It just has some fatal flaws that make it hard to play with and enjoy. Still, it's not a bad representation for Blitzwing. And it'll look good on your display shelf, all the same. And he is not too bad to transform either. I mean, transformations aren't tricky, well, aren't really difficult. Can be tricky at times, and some of the engineering done for the transformations is actually really impressive. So he's definitely got some good transformations going for him, which is nice. For accessories, he comes with his sword and his gun. Unfortunately, well, he definitely has plenty of peg holes on his modes for storage. You can only get one weapon per vehicle mode to store on and look good. The sword in jet mode, which helps hide some of the gap issues, and the gun for tank mode that looks like a secondary turret. You can put both weapons on either mode, and if you like it, go for it. But in my personal opinion, the weapons seem to be one per mode. Now for a quick comparison, let's bring in animated Blitzwing. And I'm bringing these in for now because there's one more feature on Generations Blitzwing that he inherited from his animated counterpart. And that is by pushing down on his face, you get additional faces. Much like animated, Blitzwing has the 3 faces. As you can see, this one was directly inspired by this feature was directly inspired by animated. But you got the strategist face. The crazy face. Again, inspired by animated. And the angry standard G1 face. Which is the face I'm going to be using for my display. And honestly, this is a feature they didn't have to put in to make this Blitzwing good. A lot of people don't like the fact that they put it in at all. I'm cool with it. It's nice to give it a nod to all the various incarnations of the character. And I think it looks pretty good. It does make the head a little bit big, but actually I don't think it's really too big, personally. So I think the feature works. I like it, and I like the figure. Now, there is one more comparison I'd like to make, and that is simply put with his fellow triple changers, Octane and Astro Train, or Tankor and Astro Train if you want to get technical. So you can see that those arms are always going to be a pain in the butt. As you can see, Blitzwing is significantly taller than the other triple changers, which means they may want to at least give us a larger Astro Train, maybe a larger Octane as well. But yeah, it's nice to have the trio together. The trio together. I mean, all in all, I'm happy to have Blitzwing. He has his flaws, plenty of them, but he still looks pretty good to me. And if you want the full set of triple changers, you gotta go for this one. Yeah, especially if you're a Classics Generations fan like me. This is a figure you don't want to pass up. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. I'll see you a little later. Take care. Bye-bye and have fun.